Hey guys, welcome to my review of League of Angels. I'm KradisZ, and I'm gonna go over this game features basically and give you my experience and opinion with it. I've gone to level 54 here in about hang on, let me just turn off the music. I've gone to level 54 here in about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks almost, approaching 3 weeks. But the objective of this gameplay here is that I've noticed that it's actually just like building up your character and party. Your party consists of like up to 6 members, but I've only unlocked the 5th slot, which comes at level 45. The first 31 levels are actually really quick. You can get there in about like half an hour. So it's not like anything that takes really long, but at the same time, from after 31 and onwards, it takes quite a bit, and you can get a level a day. You just had to do like these 50 loop quests and like the main quests as well as the side quests, and you'll be able to gain that level really easily each day. It'll keep you occupied. You can play the game very casually, and you don't have to play it like hardcore or anything. Like I play it like just on the side while I'm doing other work, as well as just checking in on time to time. There's like daily events and things that happen, like quizzes, which is like actual real life trivia and other things. But I'm going to be going over this review in 3 sections basically. One is like upgrading, how to build up your party and things. 2 is PvE, and 3 is PvP, and then I'll go over the events and then finish it off. I want to keep this short because the game has a lot of things to do, but I'm just going to go over the main points of what you can do in this game to build up your party. One thing you might have in concern is that the game might be like pay to play or like pay to win or free to play kind of thing. I can tell you that there is a certain degree of pay to win in the game, but at the same time you can also get by pretty decent at being a free player too. Don't try to compare yourself with like the people who do unload like their entire credit card in the game, because like the game does set you around like the players that are around your same investment level. Over time you can get like avatar items as well just for free from doing events, like Sky Archer for instance. It's like, you know, do all these things every day. You have about 30 days to accomplish it, and then once you have 200 of these things you can actually make an avatar item for yourself. So the first thing is I'm going to go over the PvE things. Here's a table of contents that I put out earlier. It'll also be in the description below and the annotation at the bottom left there. I'll make sure I keep that there so you guys can navigate. As well, okay, so I'm going to go forward. So the first thing I want to go over is actually like upgrading and enhancing your party. In the early levels there's just the enhancement, which is very slow and like simple. You just like look at your equipment and you can enhance it with gold, and gold is like up there. I have 600k. That's actually not a lot of gold. It's actually very, very little. The economy is not crazy inflated. In fact, there's no trading at all in the game. There's only like gifting, but there's no trading as far as I've encountered. I haven't encountered any kind of trading with another player. So enhancing is very simple. You just, you know, look at the equipment in the forge and then you click enhance, and then that's it. It'll go up to a certain level for depending on what type of equipment it is. Like 20 is the early tiers and the max is 20. When you enhance all of them to a certain level, like if enhance all 20 for instance, you get combos. As well, each piece of equipment can be socketed with gems that further boost like character's power. The most important character is of course your main character and your angel. Your angel is like worth upgrading because they do AoE attacks in battle. Most of the gameplay I find is actually building up your party, not so much doing combat. But combat is automated. However, the thing is that I find that the strategy lies in party composition before you even head into battle. So it's more like you set up your party and then you throw it against somebody else and see what happens kind of thing. You don't really have control over battle. You have control over like positioning and pre-battle. So like your angel has like a thing called Halo, and it's based on however your party is positioned on your roster there. It'll give like certain buffs to them, as you can see here, with the Shadow Wraith for instance has 7,840 health and whatnot. Also, like certain heroes have like teamwork abilities, so when one ability goes off and if the other one is still alive in the party, they get bonus effects. So there's other things like that, as well as Aegis skills that your angel will eventually acquire, which are extra chance for things to happen in battle. For my instance is a 28% chance to stun like whichever target on their party for 2 turns, which is pretty big. So in terms of enhancing and upgrading your party, it'll mostly be upgrading equipment. Avatars do bring quite a bit. Socketing gems, always make sure you fill the slots. If you need to open more slots, just get socketing rods. That doesn't cost real money, it just costs in-game currency to get them at the shop in the bottom right here. Refining comes at a later level, at about level 50. Refining is basically trying to re-roll like the stats and trying to get higher stats on your weapon. You can lock them. If you lock them, it costs more stones for it. So if I lock 4 of these stats that I want to keep and only re-roll 1 of them, it's going to cost 300 stones. So that's how you kind of like get your gear to the top end. Enchanting comes way later though. Enchanting comes when you've unlocked the Eternal Spire, which happens at about level 51. A lot of the features are unlocked already by about 45, but I find that enchanting's even more crazy. You do like elite challenges in the Eternal Spire. I'll go over that in the PvE section later. And so for instance, I have armor here that's been enchanted 4 times, and it gives a total of 6,000 extra defense and 4% total def bonus. It's pretty huge. As you can, like, if you look at the stats compared, my main is like 40,000 defense, and my tank character in my party is only 13,000 because I spent most of my resources upgrading my main character. The other thing is that when you're upgrading like your characters here in the party, it's not going to be a waste when you recruit a new hero. You can inherit the stats all over, like pass them along to another one before you fire them off. So investing into your characters here isn't a waste either. Nothing is a waste. And then finally, you want to make sure you combine like gems and crystals. Gems, like three of them go into the next level. You can use gold for 100% success, or use synthetic scrolls that you get from all sorts of events and items. And another way of upgrading is there's so much about upgrading. Is training. Training requires soul stones, which you also get from doing PvE and some PvP, not a lot of PvP. Soul stones is to like train. They give additional stats, not percentage stats. Upgrading, for instance, gives additional percentage stats. So as you can see here, this is plus 12, and it gives my player a percentage boost on like overall stats for this for the character. So the character is affected by mounts and equipment, whereas like these guys, your recruits and party members are separate. They have no mounts, so you just train them separately and they go straight up. Once you fill these 10 stars out, it'll go back to the first one, and then it'll unlock an elemental ability for them here on the very right where it says Seraphim Blaze and the rest. As well as same with upgrading. Upgrading is good because every 3 upgrades, when it's like plus 3, plus 6, plus 9, the skill that your recruits use also gain like a boost in their skill effect. So it is worth investing into for your recruits. At least plus 3 in my opinion. If you want to go plus 6, that's cool too, because the cost also goes up as you upgrade further and further down. So this costs like 10 stones for like just one for like 22 points out of the 2,570. So you can imagine how many stones I'm going to need just for one level. And then later on there's runes. Runes unlocks with the Eternal Spire as well at level 51, and you use these to unlock boosts towards like your equipment on top of everything else that I've already gone over just now. So these consume a lot of runes. Every time you use one rune upgrade, like it costs 15 stones here, and then it'll grant like one of these 4 that are lit up right now some EXP, like this. So that one just gained like a little bit, and then like this was that one. So this one gained 5 points earlier, And then there's also enhancing the gems, gem enhancing. So gem enhancing gives a percentage bonus on the socketed gems in your characters as well, for this character only. So like each of them have their own separate rune and enhance. Now the one thing that's different between the main character and the recruits is that the recruits have an element section here, and this unlocks later at level 50 as well. This is just like rolling like elemental crystals. You generally want to try and make sure that it's always a star going up. You don't have to replace it if you failed. So like I'm gonna upgrade her, so I'm gonna want ultra because it costs 50 stones and it gives me the best chance of upgrading the star without downgrading the other ones. So it's +1/+1. Normally if I see green and no red, I'm gonna save new and you get more battle rating. The game runs across battle rating, but in terms of like PvE or PvP, in PvP it's anywhere like a deviation of 30k of battle rating. You can still win against somebody who's 30k higher than you. So I'll be going through that too as well. So that's that's the upgrading section, guys. So this is the PvE section. If you really need to see like where features unlocked, always check your astral board here. You get an astral star every level, and you just use it to gain extra stats when you light up one of these stars. But it also shows you where features unlock. Most of the features are unlocked by 30, but later on it's the 40th and 45 is a pretty significant one, and then 50, and then finally 60 is like the final feature that's out for now. I'll show you that on a temporary account I was granted. But for PvE, there's things like alchemy to grant gold. Gemology is to gain the gems that you socket into your character. You want to generally get combos or like 3. It's pretty much like playing Bejeweled, except you're not locked to like always making combo. You can just move these around without needing to match anything. But if you match like blocks of 4 and 5 or whatnot higher, you get more points, of course, and then you want to try and fill these up to get further rewards to upgrade your characters. At 45, this advanced one comes out, and this one gets you more endurance and like block gems. The basic ones get you stat gems instead. Another PvE aspect is the Inferno. The Inferno's a lot like the Erebus. The Erebus comes at level 40. When you clear one level, you get to progress to the next one. It's like a dungeon crawler. Here's some footage of it in the bottom right and top left for the Inferno and the Erebus. Another part is like Jackpot's pretty simple. It's like slot machines. I'm not going to go over it. It's pretty straightforward. The Eternal Spire is more like a challenge tower. You want to climb as high as you can until you like brick wall against enemies. The enemies continuously get harder and harder as you go higher and higher. It looks like this. The first person who's beaten this was some person named Perplexo, and this is where you get runes. This all comes at level 51. Most of this is just like free, and should be able to be. It's easily doable as a free to play player. When you do brick wall though, you do have to wait. So another PvE activity would be like the Zodiac. The Zodiac unlocks pretty early on. It's to get Aegis skills for your angel, and that's like these bonus skill effects that occur during the angel's turn when they use their AoE attack, and they have a chance of activating. They also grant bonus stats to your angel. Try to level all of them. It's not just one single one that's active all the time in terms of the Aegis. As you can tell, all these stat bonuses right here where my mouse is shows pretty much an addition of all these Aegises that I've unlocked already. Each time you beat an Aegis area, the next one will unlock, and it's actually pretty difficult later on. It's normally 2 mobs and a boss at the very end. I'm not going to show you. You can try the game yourself. It's very easy to get to. First half an hour you'll probably unlock it, and you'll be experiencing it already within then. So moving forward, tidal pool is another activity where you shoot fish with nets. You want to catch all the fish as you can before the next school arrives. Over time, the more you catch each day, this pool will upgrade and you'll get bigger fish. I used to not have these orange worm-like fishes over there. That's for acquiring soul stones mostly. and that's for, of course, I went over that in the upgrading section for training. That's why I went over the upgrading stuff first. And finally, Dragon Soul is one other feature that I haven't unlocked on my character here yet, but I can show it to you on the temporary account I was granted, just for the sake of experiencing the features, so I can pitch it to you guys. Hey guys, so there's two more things that actually three more things I wanted to mention about PvE. There's this new feature that came in just recently. It's called the Dark Abyss. It unlocks at 55. And you basically go through like a dungeon crawl. No, it's like random challenges. There's like 3 at a time, and you generally want to see if you can like get through it. You can turn on this simple battle here in the top right, just so you don't have to watch every battle. And then you choose your opponent. Like in the victories you do, every 5 stages you get rewards, and based on how many stars you have left, you'll get something. So it's just like that for if you have the simple battle on. You want to try and pick like stat buffs. After a certain number of rounds, it'll show you like a page where you can choose like a certain number of things. If you die once though, it's game over, and that's one of your attempts gone for the day. So you get 2 attempts, 2 free attempts per day, and then based on how far you get in, there's a ranking based on how far you get in, and you get rewards for those. You can also get your friends to assist you on the runs to help boost your party's battle rating for that challenge. Another thing I wanted to go through is that there's 2 chests in every new map that you go through, so make sure you find them. The world map looks like this, if it'll load fast enough. So this is like the world map. So every time you enter a new map, once you gain that level entry, there's 2 chests on the map, so make sure you pick those out. They don't respawn, it's a one-time thing. And here is the Dragon Soul. It's a bit like gemology again. You just want to match these, and it's a little cruel, to be honest. It fries the dragons in the background there, and it generates like elementals power-ups for you. And these things as well eventually are for your character's Dragon Soul. It's to upgrade more of your character, and this is where your character's element comes in. Your main character's element is the Dragon Souls. The Dragon Souls is part of like your character's development, and you do want to power it up. Where the heck is it? Oh, here it is, Dragon. So right here, there's one for each character. So it's not just for your main character, sorry, my bad. So it's just it's for every single character. It's pretty intense. It unlocks like some pretty interesting skills at the bottom here once you have a certain amount of requirements met based on the elements. And you can combine these ones and have like this one eat this one. You just have to drag them into like the same element, and then that's how you level up like a certain element. You'll get a lot of level 1 ones, and then you just combine them by having them devour one another, and then you'll get really high, and you just socket it in there. So that's Dragon Soul, guys. It's pretty neat. I think it's nice. It's a nice objective to like get more power for your party. So one last quick thing about PvE is that you just want to make sure that you always do like your Zodiac challenges every day, and also blitz like all the runs when you're like tired of doing it manually, or you've done it manually. Blitzing is right here. It's this option right next to the enter, and it's free. If you're not a VIP, you do have to wait, so then that's where you go AFK and go do something else in another game. So you can like do a certain number of attempts, and you just click the Let's Blitz button, and then it'll go on a timer. So like if you do 14 runs, it's 14 minutes and something like that, and then you can just click back on that window and then just go do something else, or try and look for other stuff to do. And same with the Zodiac runs. The Zodiac, there's a one-click button on there. I don't know why I don't have a Zodiac screen on this one, but in any case, it's there too. Make sure you look for it, and it'll help you speed up your runs and do all your things. It goes for the same as like all these other ones. There's also this totems here, and it's just like challenge. This is another PvE thing. So once you get high enough, you can start challenging more and more. And then this is to help bolster your party again for like special AoE effects for your team. And you can upgrade and evolve them. So the game has a lot to do with upgrading, if you still haven't noticed that yet. Now, PvP, on the other hand, is it's a bit more along the lines of pay to win in a sense. But I mean, if you want to be at the top in anything, in any game, you're gonna have to invest some kind of money or a lot of time. The arena normally gives you 5 random opponents, 1 very strong one, 1 very weak one, and 3 in the middle. It refreshes about every 8 to 12 hours, and you get 10 tries every day. And if you win like a lot, if you win your 10 attempts, you'll generally reach the domination boards. You don't have to be at the very top to qualify. Here's the Hall of Fame. As you can see, like, one of the domination people are at 98,000, and I'm well over that. Like, I would actually like destroy this person, but there's brackets in that, so it's like you'll be paired into like the free to play, like the people who aren't paying money into it. So you can still survive and make it in the game without having to invest a lot of money. I put like $5 in when I was level 41, and like you get quite a lot of stuff just for $5 on the first time. But other than that, like later on, there's like you might have to invest more or not. It's up to you. I play the game as if like I'm just like building up a car kind of thing, but more so a party with characters and just enjoying the graphics and the gameplay of like buffing up my party and then pitting it against other people. Because that's what I feel is the objective of this game. Team Arena is more intense. It involves 3 players on each team, so there's 3 angels versus 3 angels, and it goes across servers. So it's like your server versus another server. Generally, you do want to pair with like a high battle rating person if you're a low level, because low level keeps the tier below, so you match make with other people that are at lower ratings depending on your level. It's not dependent on your rating. So at first I thought the matchmaking was broken, but apparently there's like certain thresholds of levels. So say if like you're a party of 50s, then you get a total of 150. If you go over 150, you'll start be pairing in the high tiers with people who are like level 60 to 70, and then you could utterly get trashed. With like your team could be like 300k battle rating versus like 800k battle rating. There is no way you're gonna win something like that. But Team Arena is pretty intense. It can go either way if you're anywhere within 50 to 80k in Team Arena, as long as you got like 1 strong guy carrying. Party position does help too in Team Arena. You only get to take 1 recruit with you. Try to like take your best recruit with you, or the most useful one in the team composition. I mean, if you have a group healer like the Dejini, then just put that in and put like something tanky in front of it. Another PvP one is the worm race. The worm race is something that grants gold. You attack somebody else's worm. Make sure you use these 2 refresh attempts to try and get a higher dragon to send off. Generally, you don't want to send off a Verdan. You want to send off like at least an Alzarak or a Fosrindil. And I got a Fosrindil just now, so I might just fire it off. Actually, I will just for you. So this is what it looks like. Worm racing. You want to attack people who are also flying their dragons here. And that guy's in my guild. I hope he doesn't attack me or see my dragon. There's peak times where there's bonuses when you send off the dragon, you'll get a lot more rewards, but I try to send it off when like people aren't like paying attention to that tab, so I don't get attacked. When you get attacked, the rewards get less when it finishes in 15 minutes. Raiders is another one that's PvP. You raid people for shards, and then when you beat them, you get a shard, and then if you have a full set, you can synthesize a chest, and that chest will contain upgrades for your characters and party. It's very useful. You get 10 attempts a day. Make sure you finish like all 15 explore attempts. Explore attempts is just you click this button and it rolls like 3 items for you like this, and then it's just random, and then like once you finish the 15, that's it. It'll grant EXP to like your explore. Once it levels up, you go down to another level and there'll be more slots. This is level 2. Level 1 looks like this, so there's more chances for more rewards and more options to raid other things from other players. And then finally there's Clash of Might. Clash of Might is more like a ladder climb. This one is geared towards pay to win though, unfortunately, because you won't reach first, second, or third unless you're investing some money in to get like pretty powerful. I've put in a bit of money and played smartly, and I'm about 8th. I'm 8th place on this entire server that I'm on, and I started on a new server. This server is really new. It's only about 3 weeks old. So I started like at 0 with everybody else, just following along. I wanted to get a feel for like how difficult it was to keep at the top, even with just a bit of money put in. As well, there is also one more PvP aspect here. Hold on a sec. Oh, there's also the Twilight Clash. Twilight Clash is more of a player guild versus guild, and this is more like this is a guild versus guild event. It happens every 2 days. Participate it with your guild, basically. I missed the last one, so I don't exactly know how to tell you about it. The cross-server war is very interesting. This is actually pretty balanced, I find, in terms of PvP. Both teams will always get like really high-end people matchmaked. If you're a free-to-play person and you didn't put any money into it, there will also be other people matchmaking in there that are equal strength of you, and generally you want to try and wipe them out. The weak points is that in cross-server war, your HP doesn't regenerate when you go into battle. So even the lobies can kill high-end people eventually. Like, their health will just chip away. And then you get, like, there's some strategies involved with other people on your team. It comes in 2 modes, where you transport crystals back to your home flag, or you just mine it straight on to get points. You gotta reach 1,000 points. And why do you want to do this? It gets you the fashion cores to upgrade your avatar. This is the only area where you can get fashion cores. Or you can get these emblems too, which help increase like your main character effects to trigger their skills. So that's all I gotta say about PvP, guys. That crossover is really balanced. Clash of Might is pay to win. Arena is just random. And Worm Race is just to get gold. So one more thing about PvP here I want to mention is tournament. I didn't see this the other day. It comes every 2 weeks. And basically you're pitted against other players from other servers based on your own battle rating, and you can see how far you can climb on it or not. You can try and get top 100. You get some pretty good rewards. Every time you beat like a tier of players here, you get a chest here on the left. So make sure you pick it up once you kill them all. Once you refresh it though, it refreshes all of them, so make sure you pick up the rewards before you refresh or you lose them. You always got to kill these first 4 at the bottom, then these next 3 here, and then the 2, and then the top. And if you beat all of them, you get a combo of points, and then it'll refresh itself, and then you'll have another 10 attempts, or you'll have a fresh new batch of like opponents to fight for probably the next day. It goes on for a few days, and then eventually you want to get to the top 10 here, and then you can. And then you get rewards, and you can spend it on buying these things here. These things are pretty exclusive. Even you can't even pay to like win some of these stuff. You actually have to just participate in some of these. But for the rewards, I think they're pretty huge. Like, for instance, like these holy crystals are really nice, and like an Aegis shard chest, or just saving up for these royal weapon prints, and upgrading like legendary weapons to mythic weapons. It sounds pretty important. Apart from that, that's all I have to go through on PvP. So I'm gonna go over the events next. So one thing about events is that there's always plenty of events going on in League of Angels. It's very nice, although some of them do require real money investment in order to heavily participate in them. But for the most part, everybody can participate in them, get rewards if you stockpile stuff or like hold off on resources until the next event comes. Always check this hot events tab in the left here. There's tons of stuff you can do to get stuff. Just doing like being a free player, you can get the Sky Archer and the Blade Wings, for example. I got those already. It took me about 22 days out of the 30 days to get it. You can actually get it without having to pay any real money, and you'll get yourself a nice avatar item. As well, these tycoon points is like just going nuts and collecting stuff. There's like daily login bonuses. There's everything for every activity basically in the game. There's like 4 pages of events here. You always want to check out like what objectives you can fulfill to like get it. And like for instance, like something like this is very doable for any kind of any player. Is like upgrading your hero with the blessed stones, as I went over in the beginning of the video. Omnipotence is like doing all sorts of things, and all around talent, same thing. It's like a lesser version of that. So I mean, there's a lot to do in the game. There's definitely lots of things to fill out and keep the time occupied, and like events of like buying stuff like this and mounts that come from shops. I know like several players that got a mount just from like saving up their resources, buying like the derricks with vouchers. You get vouchers every day just for being online, and like the rewards are very, very like lucrative, especially like mounts like these, because they only come once in a while, and then you gotta wait a long time before the event comes in again. Same with like roses. Right now there's some kind of rose event going on, and it goes every 2 weeks, and you get roses just from getting like devotion. So I'm trying to get my 600 devotion here, and devotion is just like doing daily activities, and you'll get enough that actually grants you like a ton of roses, which you would normally cost tons of diamonds to get, but the event grants it to you for pretty much free, as long as you can get your daily objectives done. So because of that, I actually think like League of Angels is actually quite a nice game to like pass the time for, like, I don't know, in between stuff when you're not doing anything or waiting for loading on other games or whatnot. But apart from that, you should still give it a shot. I don't think it's a bad game at all. Whether or not you're going to be a paying player or a free player, it's good either way. Try not to compare yourself with people who are unloading their credit cards, because like even I put some money in and I'm just like, man, some people just got way too much money, and it's just like, don't worry about that. There's always going to be somebody like that, unless you're that person. If you're that person, well, I don't think you'd be watching this. You'd probably just be like, oh, I'm at the top, whatever. But for the rest of us, just keep in mind that like it's nice to see like your party grow up and get like pretty big, and then do like these challenges and things, and then so it feels even better when you get to best somebody who's been paying into the game and you haven't paid a cent or very little anyways. So guys, in conclusion to this review, I just want to go over again that the objective of this game is mainly to upgrade your party. I find that most of the game is involved in upgrading everything about to do with your characters, their equipment, their elements, their skills, their party, and your angel as well. There's like so many features in the game. It's definitely something you should try. If you're gonna pass it, well, don't talk crap about the game until you've given it a shot. There really is a lot to do in the game. Even though the combat is automated, if you're looking for a like turn-based strategy game, this isn't it. I would say this is more of a preemptive, like you gotta like prepare like your party and then you send them off to war kind of thing. It's not like you're in the war being a commander. It's more like you're just setting up military soldiers and then you're just sending them off and pray for the best. There's definitely a lot to learn and a lot to do in this game. There's certain strategies and certain party compositions that'll counter certain other party compositions. My guild is like the second top guild on this server, and they're pretty crazy because they were talking about like strategies of like how to set up your party properly and like actually overpower your certain enemies. Like for instance, Eleanor Max here is 275k, but she can't seem to best me in Clash of Might, and I'm a higher rank than they are. I'm ranked 4 and she's like ranked 9. So that's like there's like a gaping gap in battle rating there. She's 20k higher than me, and technically she should be able to kill me, but there's a certain way my party's set up so she actually can't kill me with her party. I've had battle logs saying like she's been trying to attack me like multiple times and keeps failing. See, look right here, Eleanor Max challenged me today, but I won and rank unchanged. So there's stuff like that, and like other people like trying to kill me, but my rank's unchanged. So that's what I mean. Like, Even if your battle rating is under somebody else's, even within 20k, you can still win, like mine for example. So I do believe like League of Angels is a pretty good game. There are certain things that are pay to win. That's not like, you know, up for debate. That is for sure a fact that some events are really hardcore pay to win. Other ones are actually pretty free and doable. For the most part, I think if you're a free to play player, you can still get by around the mid range to the lower high part of the server ranks in terms of player power. But if you put even just a little bit of money in there, you'll actually like compete with some of the top people on a server you're on. My tips for you is that you should actually start on any new server that's coming out, because everybody starts at a level playing field, and if you're serious about committing time into it, then you can compete with like people that are more along the lines of same power level as you. If you go into a server that's been up for a while, it'll take a long time to catch up to anything, so it'll be more like playing a single player game in that sense. So that's just something to keep in mind. There's certain events like the cross server war. This doesn't really apply to anything because it meshes other servers together. So there's always going to be somebody like way powerful in there from like earlier servers that have been up for a long time. So cross server war is very balanced, and that's how I'm going to end this review. So I hope you give the game a shot, guys. I really think it's good for what it is. And I think the graphics are very cool too. Like, they're very detailed for sure. Like, just look at my chocobo here. Alright, so thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope this gave you some information. If you got any questions, just leave it down in the comment section below. Bye bye for now.